brothers and sisters. This is Sex Chronicles, chapter 8, verses 19, part 4. This is the last and final one. I broke it down in 4 parts because I needed to do that for maybe you can get a better understanding and how the manipulation of both parties between a man and a woman. And we sit here and we point the fingers so easily without even thinking. But one thing we seem not to do is to understand why it's being done, while both parties are on a journey of their life. But the manipulation to manipulate each other to gain or a hidden agenda of why they do what they do. Yes, black brothers and sisters, we can sit up here and we can go through all this history of life and learn about the Samoans, the Kemet people, and the Anunnaki. We can learn all these things. But what about our behavior today? We're loose, brothers and sisters. We need to reconstruct the way we think because we're too loose. The things your parents should have told you. Yes, we go over these books because you need them. Are you still a slave, brothers and sisters? You are. The black woman's God to understand the black man. Do you understand? The black man's God to understand the black woman. Do you understand? Ask yourself these questions. I put these videos out because I want you to learn something. I want you to learn something. Honestly. We're going to get right into the video. But before we get into the video, I want you to give all due respects to the Creator. The sun rises. Hotep Hashem. A lot of our brothers and sisters, they're lost in the wilderness because society told them you could do whatever you want to do. See, we don't live in a tribal world. We don't live that the tribe, as the old saying goes, which is really true, that it takes a tribe to raise that one kid. Because that's the way it used to be, but we're not there. We are gone. You know, when I say we, who that lives here in the so-called modern world, the so-called Babylon in your mind. You don't have to live like this, but you choose to. That's a fact. You choose to be loose with your mind. You choose to be loose with your words. You choose to be loose with your body. But you're going to find out the truth, though. This is part 4. Once again, we're not here to discriminate, but to listen and understand between two people talking and telling your story. The question is, are you listening? And try to understand that maybe you live like that. Maybe you walking with hidden agendas and lying, and you're so loose, and you're telling stories of manipulation. Talking about cheating, fraud, deception. These are the things that people do on a daily basis. They're not being honest with themselves. Because you want to sleep with her and she wants to sleep with him. Sexually. Everybody's manipulating. If you're paying attention to the story, you will see this and hear it clearly. This is part 4. Let's get into it.
Literally didn't think it existed. When I got diagnosed with it, they told me just live my life.
Oh, wow. I can see why he was upset.
Yeah, and I totally take responsibility for that. After that, he didn't really touch me or have sex with me like that or even kiss me after that. And it just made me feel like I was unwanted and unloved because of what I was diagnosed with but didn't even see signs of, you know.
Right.
So it just made me feel like I shouldn't even be in it, you know, and I took responsibility for that. Yeah.
Okay. So,
the thing with that is that it's not contagious until you have a breakout. You know what I'm saying? So I never had.
yeah, so you didn't have any visual herpes,
Right.
so you can't transfer it to him.
Right.
You know,
It
that's to
wasn't
touch the sore or whatever, I guess.
Right.
Okay, so that didn't work. You left that, and what happened after that?
After that, I stayed at my twin sister's for a while until I went to Thailand. And Thailand was a whole trip.
What made you go to Thailand?
Just to be in the tropics, be in nature, activate my DNA. I was with Tisha Khan at the time. That was on the frequency. We was just vibing off of your knowledge, and we wanted to live our best lives and be God. So I went and did that, and there was a time that I contacted him in Thailand too, Yada.
Did Yada say he cures herpes?
Yeah.
Somebody saying in the chat.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I thought I vibrated to him, because I thought we can cure each other, or like cure whatever was going on.
Oh, so you went to him thinking that he can cure,
Yeah.
and you didn't have any outbreaks, so you was like, I'm good.
I'm good. Like, I just loved health. I was about the mission. You know what I'm saying? That's why I stayed. I wanted to, like...
See, when you say you a healer, people that have sicknesses come to you.
Right, exactly.
There it is. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Do you feel that he did heal you from herpes, or you just never had outbreaks, so you don't know?
I didn't have no outbreak. Like, I just feel like...
That's funny. That's the same thing with Nana. She was diagnosed with herpes, but she never have any outbreaks. She never had any outbreaks. She's just diagnosed with it, but never has an outbreak.
Right.
This is crazy.
Yeah, so like, I noticed that the more that...
But you didn't tell him?
No, I didn't tell him at first.
Right.
Because, you know, it completely slipped my mind. But
and that's the wrong part. You got to tell people about that stuff. Especially if you know. Yeah.
Exactly. Like, I take full responsibility. You're supposed to tell them right before you even get intimate.
Yeah.
Like, that's all me.
Right. Okay. So you go to Thailand with your sister.
No,
with your friend?
No, I went by myself. And
oh, wow. Yeah, that's right. I remember you going to Thailand. And somebody followed you. The little birdie followed you.
So I went to Thailand. I met up with Tisha Khan. We lived together about a month, and we split ways because it wasn't working. And I was out there by my own.
The Indian girl.
Yeah, the Indian.
Oh, she's so dope. How was the relationship with her? I used to always see her online. She just faded away. I don't see her no more.
She's a beautiful flower, but just like everyone else, we have demons that we have.
Oh, I heard her demons pretty deep.
It was.
She's intense, bro. She's intense.
She is intense, but she's a beautiful soul regardless. She just needs to understand, like, you know, she had a bit of a narcissist energy, but at the same time, it was like...
She's a powerful entity.
Yes, she just needed to overcome it, and she's a beautiful flower. Yeah, definitely.
That's a fact.
I love her, yeah. And then, after that, Meek came. And me and Meek had a wonderful time out in Thailand. Then we went to Malaysia. And then we came back to the States.
How was Thailand?
Thailand was beautiful. Like, I suggest everyone go out into the tropics, go to Thailand, and just live your life. Like, it's so inexpensive there. Like, it's very spiritual. People are respected. Like, people are respectable there. So, like, it was really, really wonderful. However, I would say that I was messing around with a low vibrational male there. And
right, talk to me about that relationship.
Okay. So that relationship came about when I was getting my own home. He was a neighbor, and he was the only black guy on the island that I was in. And we were the only black people as far as one of another girl being black, but she wasn't around. So we were both melanated. We got together and just spoke about different things. He said we should live together and stuff like that. And I was like, no, I don't really want to do that. But at the same time, I would, because he was helping me out with rent. We got intimate because my energy around him, I don't know what it was. Like, literally, I would smoke weed or, puff weed that I haven't done in a while. But when I smoked the weed, I would get, very sensual and, really, I don't know. It just made me feel really, really sexual around him. So, literally, one night we had sex and everything like that, and my energy shifted ever since. Like, my vibrational frequency lowered. I was here, I dropped down right back to here. It was because he was my food. He was like a food source in my body.
You see the stories? Understand the stories, brothers and sisters. Understand the stories. You see all these, this is part of the journey they went on. I know, because when you go on these journeys, and if you're not careful, you're not learning from your mistakes. But one thing I hate the most is people go to the tropics and you don't need to go to no fucking island to feel Like, see, the only reason why you feel the way you feel, oh, go to the islands, go to the tropics, because you ain't never been there. You can go down south and get the same goddamn thing. South Carolina, North Carolina. Why? I've been there, done that. I know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? You can go places that's magnificent. I've been to Delaware Valley, Callicoon, New York, 3-4 hours away. You want that experience of clean air? Trust and believe, when you live the city part, you will get that same atmosphere. It's up to you if you want to do that. You don't got to go to a whole nother country to do all that. You don't. It's right here. Right here, right in your backyard, and you don't even know it. See? Now, if you want to travel, sure. You want to live where you want to live, sure. But pay attention. Pay attention how the story flows as you into your journey, as she is in her journey, how she been jumping around. Who you looking for? What do you want? Pay attention. See, I want you to get the inner core of why people do what they do. That's my whole philosophy. Huh? And especially our young ladies. Especially because they're looking for something. What are they looking for? Pay attention.
My body. So literally now I'm having demonic thoughts. I was scared about doing certain things. It was really, really nasty to me. And I felt like, he was just really, I just feel like he was really nasty, and I was feeling really nasty for dealing with him.
Somebody say he laced your weed with Viagra. That was funny.
Say what?
He laced your weed with Viagra.
He smoked every day, and he was a cool soul, but at the same time, he was just really nasty to me.
He just wasn't on your path.
Yeah,
different path.
Different path, and he was forcing me to want to be with him.
Yeah.
And I was one of my lessons that I had to say no. I had to take up for myself and speak up for myself and say, no, I don't want to do it. No matter how much his energy is trying to pull me and manipulate me to stay there with him, say, we can do this, we can do that, we can have this bigger house. I'm like, no, that's not what I want.
It's not your path.
Right.
Two different paths. So you got out of a relationship with him. Mm-hmm. Meek comes along.
Yeah, Meek comes
That's when you was still in contact with me. Mm-hmm. I did y'all chart. I remember that. Mm-hmm. You and Meek, I did your chart. He drew that picture of me.
Yeah. Around that time, that's when we got back on frequency.
Right.
Me and Meek were watching your videos, your lives, and like just saying like, yo, like.
You're in Thailand, I'm in Belize.
Yeah, so it was two different things, and
right.
we did have a conversation with me, you and Meek, before, saying that, and you said like it sounded like a twin flame thing, and
right.
yeah, I remember that conversation. Yeah. Meek came when I was manifesting love. I was talking to Tron at the time. Me and Tron was having certain things. We was talking, and one day Tron and I just fell off because of what he said and saying I wasn't a part of the family, and if you're not on frequency, you're not in tune. That hurt me, and so I just dropped it all together, and I started manifesting Meek to Thailand, and we got him there within 6 days with $3,000 in his pocket.
What was the flight cost of Thailand?
It was around $1,000.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he sold his car to be with me.
Okay. Amazing. And how'd that relationship go?
That relationship was very harmonious. Like, he was a Cancer, I was a Capricorn, but
You was a Capricorn, or you still a Capricorn?
I'm a Capricorn. I am a Capricorn. He's a Cancer. Even though we were our polar opposite, we really, really attracted. We were very harmonious. We made things happen together. We traveled the world, manifested money as we went, and it was really beautiful. What happened was when we got back to the States, we split because I was dealing with a soulmate, or dealing with somebody here that I ran away from before I went to Thailand, and I had to finish up my lesson.
So things were good with you and Meek. You just decided to go the other way.
Yeah, well, we both did. Because after I learned my lesson and I was giving off this energy like, look, I learned and I apologize, he basically was like, yo, he wants to explore his options and go his other way too. So we was really a good relationship. We just
Somebody asked a question. How many men have you been with?
I would say around 15 to 20.
15
Yeah.
to 20?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's intimately, right? Yeah.
How many men do you think a woman's supposed to be with in her life?
How many women?
How many men do you think a woman's supposed to sleep with in her life? You say one?
Yeah.
What was it to think about?
I was thinking about experience because we would come off of us.
Do you need to have the experience of a lot of men to have experience?
No, you can just be wise, like you say.
You can learn from others' mistakes,
Right.
Without having to use your body.
Right.
Okay, it's cool. So yeah, meat didn't work out. You got back to the States.
I got back to the States and started focusing on my artistry. I became an artist, Nateri Janae, in Atlanta. And I went to open mics, poetry slams. Like, I literally was just working on my craft, my art, manifesting.
Now, I'll be back. All right, I'm sorry for the interruption, but if you understood exactly what was going on, right? If you truly understood how her storyline that she told, I'm sorry, the storyline that she told, it was tricky, right? It was a very tricky storyline because she basically sits there and says, and tell you mixed stories. But in the end, what he wound up doing is asking the ultimate question. That's what he did. In the end, he asked her the ultimate question. How many men you slept with? She was going to tell him 15. He said about 15 or 20, right? She go, yeah. Because he, Bobby G, or Nature Boy, however you want to call the young man, he wanted to know the truth because he wanted to know he haven't slept with her yet. So he wanted to know in his own mind what type of woman she is and should he sleep with her. I mean, eventually he did sleep with her. But look what happened to her journey. It seemed that every dude she popped up with, if she even told the story for real, this is our daughters is out there sleeping with all these people. She said that she caught herpes, but she didn't have the breakout. One reason why she probably didn't have the breakout because she cleansed her body. She cleansed herself. Now she diagnosed herself. She was diagnosed that she had herpes. So why she didn't get no fucking antibiotics? It's a possibility they gave her antibiotics because if you went to the doctor and they told you had herpes, most likely they probably gave you some type of antibiotics to keep that shit at bay. So it was at bay, point to peep the game. And she sleeps with this one other guy. But she didn't tell him she had herpes. Hidden agendas, brothers and sisters. Then she meets another dude. Huh? This is what male and females are doing. Just to find their way, to find out the answers of why they're going through what they're going through. But I wanted you to hear from her own mouth. I wanted you to hear her story. And even grown women today sleeps with multiple people. Multiple people. A lot of them go to the doctors. You know what I'm saying? And they will sit there and tell you and give you this magnificent, beautiful picture. But they out there just as humping because they're trying to find what person they can be with. But in fact, it's that time passes by, they realize it was always them they needed, themselves, to cleanse their mind from the path of uncleanness, being loose with the body, being loose with the mind, because you think you need to give your body up, especially a woman. Now, by the time you find that man that you want to be with, that God, he doesn't get your pureness. No. Just like you're not going to get his pureness. You got to reconstruct the way you think, and you got to cleanse yourself altogether. Because you allow yourself to be with so many people, you ain't cleansed. Especially your mind. If your mind ain't cleansed from this, remember, when two people have sex and you constantly having sex, you will develop an emotional feeling. That shit just don't go away because you want it to go away. Yes, it's easier for a female to sit there and block that off. She can block it off of not thinking about that dude. But don't get it twisted. It could come at any time. She can get confused too. When shit is not working with the man she's with, she's going to be thinking about other people. Because you heard what she said. She says, oh, well, when I left Thailand and then came back to the States because I was thinking about some other... I didn't finish my journey with the other person, another man. So you go meet up another man, and you sit up there and go, he smoked weed a lot, and then I noticed we was fucking a lot. She came up with a story to justify why she did it. But to me, it looked like she was operating on false sense of security. What she was doing was, if she could find somebody that could match her psychologically and mentally and sexually, she wanted to be around somebody that's going to treat her nice. Listen to the words. Who's going to treat her nice and all these things, right?